My name's Richard Savage, and in this edition we'll be looking at one particular book cover, George Orwell's 1984. Even if you haven't read it, you're very aware of it. It's a book that a lot of the aspects of it are embedded really in today's society, with the idea of Big Brother and the interview programme Room 101. Both ideas that come from the book 1984. This book, over the last 60 years, has had a number of remakes, almost as many remakes as it has had years. It's had at least 50 covers to my sure and certain knowledge, but there will be different book covers depending on where in the world it is. It's quite often that a book cover will have a different image if it's in a different country. It will be speaking to the audience of that country. There is imagery that will work, and imagery that might not be as relevant. But the single eye picture that has been the mainstay of the cover of 1984, you'll see coming back time and time again. Something that you might like to have a go at is try using the numbers 1984 and try and form those into a book design of your own. How would you express the numbers 1984? What would you come up with that would make that book cover your own? Well, I've suggested that you take a look at 1984 and come up with a book cover for it. I thought I'd just give you a few ideas that I looked at if I was going to approach it from an illustrator's point of view. I mean, one of the first images that I looked at was the idea of a rat. There was quite a famous scene within 1984. It was a torture scene where they were looking to use a rat to encourage our poor hero Winston Smith into complying with their wishes. But it is quite a brutal scene, so I decided that perhaps that wouldn't be the one for us. I did think about Winston Smith himself. I mean, it was quite a scene, so this is the way I would approach doing something like that. I'd put the image of the photograph on the light box. I always tape pictures down to the light box, pretty much because if you don't tape them down, images have a tendency to start moving about, and that's never a good thing because if the image moves, you could end up with almost anything. So this is how I'd roughly sort of kind of sketch things out. We'd start off with the nose, we get the eyes. If you're doing faces, always try and start off with eyes, nose and mouth. You get so as you progress with the image, you just keep adding in more details, trying to get a little bit more of the character. I mean, the character is in shock. He's either very upset or very, very angry, and you want to get some of that emotion in there. And then after a while, you move away from the black and white and start with some flesh tones. I always use a terracotta watercolour pencil for flesh tones, and we just sort of keep adding in more detail until we get somewhere close to what we're looking for. That was an image that I worked up for the illustration, but even then it wasn't really saying what I wanted it to say for 1984. But for what I wanted, I was going to head back to a much more traditional route. You've got the title, you've got the eye, and you've got the author's name. I did one or two concept pictures with as you can see, that's how I ended up. Previous to that, I did look at doing the author's name and 1984 sort of shown in the pupil of the eye, but I rejected that on the grounds that the 1984 would have been a little bit too small. But maybe that's something you'd like to develop. Maybe you can make it look a little bit more pronounced than I did. I really look forward to seeing the images that you're going to do for 1984. There's so much to work with there. Think about the eyes, think about the numbers. I hope you're going to share them with us on our social media, ArtieRick62. Don't forget to use the hashtag. Thank you so much again for watching.